Welcome back to Studio 5. I'm Ashley Moser, sitting in for Brooke today while she's away. I understand at the start of season 12, the Studio 5 team put out one question that would serve as kind of a guiding topic on the show this year. The question is, what do you want more of? You flooded our Facebook and Instagram accounts with comments, and one recurring theme jumped out. Hundreds of comments from hundreds of women, and one word came up over and over again: time. Time with kids, time to create, time to read, time for fun, time with grandchildren, and time to hang out with family. Even time to exercise and squeeze in some extra sleep. More than anything else, you ask for more time to do what fills you up. An overwhelming request for more hours, minutes, even seconds in your day so you can spend more time doing what matters most. Okay, we hear you loud and clear. So every day this week, we are sharing time-saving strategies to help you beat the clock. Today, we're helping you carve out more time for your significant other.
Yes.
This is important.
It's huge.
It is huge.
That's right.
Oh my goodness, Studio 5 relationship coach Dr. Townsend is here with time savers for couples, ways to create more moments together, and really to maximize the time that you have and manage it wisely.
Right, well, by the way, where's all this time gone?
I have no idea.
But I've been teaching time management for 20-something years.
Right.
And it actually feels like I have less and less and less of it. So time's going somewhere. So some of these rules that I'm going to give you, they're great for relationships, but they also could probably be used for family and for other things as well.
We need to take back time. That's the theme. Okay, why do you think we struggle really with, making sure we are together?
What? There's so much good stuff going on right now. There are so many choices. So our problem isn't like having a lot of bad choices to choose from. We got a lot of great stuff, and because it's all great, it seems like we need to do it all. And then I think a lot of us aren't really clear about what we want most. We're not sure. We say we want family time, but then when we get it, we don't know what to do with them. They're so difficult.
Well, if our goal is more time with a couple, what can we do? What's the strategy behind that?
The first rule I always teach is, and I've taught forever, we should divide and conquer, right? Divide up, go get those things done, and then we'd eventually have time to come back and be together. I'm changing it today. No more dividing and conquering.
Really? Okay, this is historic.
Because what I found with my own life is when I divide and conquer, my wife goes one way and I go another way. A lot of times we don't ever come back and find time together. So instead, what I'd love you to do is try to unite and conquer. Why don't we stay together all day? And let's spend all day, even if we have to go do all of our list of things we're going to do, but we would at least have had time together doing stuff and being together. That would ensure we have together time instead of hoping that someday by dividing, we're going to actually just make up all the difference and then eventually have a great date that night.
Because if you look at the time that you spent together, I mean, it's not much. I love doing this with my husband. When we go to the grocery store, he'll be like, hey, do you want me to go get the, the vegetables? I'll go get the dairy. No, we stay together.
Stay with me. Stay with me. And that's a really cool thing, too, because then you actually have to get used to being with each other.
Right. You got to, love each other or something.
I mean, I just went on a trip with my wife, and it was easy to hey, you go here, I'll go here, we'll pick this up. But instead, she's always like, no, why don't we just be together? So we're going to try to unite and conquer. Another rule we want to focus on is productivity apps. We have so many apps. So my wife is now my assistant. She's my personal assistant and my office manager, and it has changed our life so much. Because now we share all of these apps, all of these things, all of our calendars are the same, all of our tools are the same, where we put our tasks are the same, everything is exactly the same, and really for the first time, we can have everything we want on our same app. So when she needs to add something to the calendar, she adds it to our calendar, and now I know exactly where I need to be, I know exactly what her expectation is. We have these great apps, and a lot of us aren't using any of them.
And we need to tap into that because we need to be more united, like you were saying. Can we find these apps just on the App Store?
They're the most basic apps you've got. Any kind of calendaring app, super important. Any task management type of app. Another one that I've actually used a lot is just our Amazon account where we could put in our wish list. Like, how great if my wife adds into her Amazon account all of the things she would love to have, then it makes my shopping, it makes my life so much easier. But there's a lot of technology out there that I don't think we're using. We use it as corporations, we use it in our companies, but we don't use it as couples very often.
Yeah, we need to think as couples, we need to think, you know, this is our company.
Yeah,
we want to
exactly.
be successful in this.
And on the same page for once.
I love that. Okay, does this add up to less wasted energy and effort to get everyone on the same page?
Oh, yeah.
Then?
Okay. I mean, it takes a lot of effort up front to say, this is what we want to do. We really want to have everybody together. But there's a really magical moment that I know everybody can buy some time. There's always a moment in what I call the transition moments. So a transition moment is when you wake up in the morning, if you happen to wake up around the same time, you've got about maybe 5 minutes where you could be in bed together, or when you go to bed at night, you have time that's a transition time. When you guys go to bed, you could be together. Or when we come home, we might have 10 or 15 minutes before dinner is ready, or while we're making dinner. There's little moments throughout our days and our lives. Those transition moments, the research shows, are major moments where we should be connecting in a loving and strong way. And because it's everywhere. You should know how we're going to greet each other, what our greeting would be like when I come home. What can we do to get the kids busy doing something while we sit and catch up and have like a 5 or 10 minute catch up time, so that we're at least on the same page. We know what the rest of the night's going to look like. And these transition moments are any time you're transitioning to a new activity. So in between dinner and cleanup is a transition time. So instead of hurrying and cleaning up, sit back, spend 5 or 10, 15 extra minutes as a couple and just talk. None of the kids are excited to clean up, so let them go do what they're going to do, and you just talk for a bit before we move into the next activity.
So we need to look for these transition times, recognize them, and really take the time to enjoy it.
And squeeze as much relationship time as you can out of these little moments. And if you could squeeze 10 or 15 minutes throughout the day in each one of these moments, you might find an extra hour for each other.
And we might find more love for each other.
You might like each other.
Just maybe.
That's right, exactly.
Okay, what is neat is that you and your wife actually share social media accounts.
Yeah, well, part of it is because she does all the social media for my business and my company. And so what I found is we are so together on that page, and we have our own accounts, but I don't keep up mine. She keeps up hers, so that means she has to do twice as much work. Now, mine's a little different because it's a business account, but I would suggest, if you can, share your social media pages. Make them a couples page. Then that way, I honestly think you could half the work you're doing on it.
Wow.
One of you could maybe put together the byline for one of your images you're putting out there. The other one could take the image. We could actually spend a little more time being together on the images, talking about them, and sharing our social media, instead of always being on such different pages. And even surfing differently. We surf alone, all by ourselves. What if we could just sit down and share our page and then go look through everybody that's following us together?
Just get the iPad out and go through that. Okay, you've got a date night coming up. This is exciting.
We got a big one up in Idaho Falls, and all you got to do is go to matttownsend.com. But if you live in Idaho Falls, April 21st, Saturday at 7 p.m., Eagle Rock Middle School, go to matttownsend.com, and if you enter in Studio 5, we get a discount to everybody that's up there, all the Studio 5 listeners up there.
Okay, we are so excited for that. Thank you, Matt, for being here.